My guest today is Rebekah Montgomery, a mother currently fighting Tarrant County's 231st District Court for the right to see her child. Becca, Judge Jesse Navarre signed an order on April 25th, 2023, which stated you appeared in person and announced ready as part of a court order to participate in mediation with Carol Orth. Where were you on April 25th?
I don't want to give out where I currently
Sure.
am, but I have
Where weren't
not,
you, I guess, right?
yeah, I have not been in Texas since the end of March of this year.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
So the point is, you weren't in court, and when you read the filing, what did you think when you saw that the judge signed this document saying that you were present that day?
It didn't surprise me because
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of interesting things play out within my case. And so when I did see that, I was not surprised. But it doesn't make it right because
Yeah.
the fact is I was not there. So for them to put that I was present just doesn't sit right. It's not ethical. It's not moral. It's nothing.
hmm And on that hearing, were you notified? You're supposed to be served notification. Were you notified about that hearing that day?
I was not.
You were
No.
not. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Um, in late 2022, so not that long ago, the 231st issued an order that allowed your ex-husband to take your child from your home while you were at work. So what incident led up to that order?
It was over Christmas break that the incident occurred.
Mhm.
My son was with me in Texas there for his Christmas break. I went and picked him up. I believe it was December 16th. It was a Friday. And so I went to Fort Polk to pick him up, bring him back to Tarrant County, and, just be able to hang out where we reside and enjoy the time together. During that time, it was Tuesday when, I'd already been back at work. I wasn't going to be off work until that upcoming Friday and
Mhm.
Monday. So I came home during lunch that day on the 19th, I believe it was, and my son was not there at all. And so I went through a whole process of trying to find where he was, making sure he was safe, he was okay, that somebody didn't just kidnap him.
Yeah.
And so come to find out, the papers that were filed were because my son had taken pictures while he was there with me on Christmas break of our non-working fridge.
Mhm.
So there wasn't much, food in there. Um, Also of one of the pantries, I have multiple pantries, and I also have a deep freeze and then obviously a working refrigerator. But he did empty out the pantry, one of them, and took pictures of that, showing to his dad and saying that he doesn't have any food. He hasn't ate since he's been there. So it was quite disheartening knowing that my son knew better.
Mhm.
He was there. And then also, I didn't get to go up to the courthouse to prove that those allegations weren't true. He was just
Mhm.
allowed to be picked up.
Mhm. I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah.
Um, Earlier this year, the 231st placed a gag order that banned you from commenting on litigation that's ongoing, the 231st. I've read all these documents for folks that don't know.
Mhm.
And you believe something as simple as a negative Google review may have prompted this judge's actions. Can you talk about that?
Through the whole process, anytime that I've seen something that was unconstitutional, that was morally incorrect, or issues with ethics,
Mhm.
I have filed complaints.
Mhm.
So I've made complaints on judges, lawyers, even on the 231st in general,
Mhm.
including Google reviews.
Mhm.
But every time I do a Google review, it gets deleted. And so they're really pushing for me to just be quiet instead of looking into the accusations of what I'm, portraying and telling them what's actually going on.
Okay. Do you have any theories? Because what we're talking about, like the incident with your son with the cupboard, your ex appears to have some very direct and influential connections with this court that he's able to get things done so quickly and you're not even notified about it. This is part of a pattern We're only talking about a few things today, but there's a pattern with your case of this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So, do you have any theories about Judge Navarez, how your ex might have undue influence with this court?
I do have a theory, because it was told to me by one of my ex-lawyers that Navarez is actually a JAG officer. And my son's father is also JAG. He's a paralegal, so he's on the enlisted side. Um, and I've also brought that up as a concern just because they're both JAG, and I cannot prove that they do or don't know each other. However, I was told if we asked the judge if he knows the father, then we would just have to take his word for it. So there's no accountability to really see if they're linked, if they know each other, and nobody's really willing to do so, which is concerning in itself because I did say and voice, this is concerning to me, and I don't know if there's any additional links, but to me, just working together in the JAG, since it is such a small component and such a small core, they could have ran into each other via phone, email, deployments, trainings, anything. And I wouldn't be aware. And I can't just take the judge's word as it is.
So, wanted to end by letting you kind of summarize your experience in the 231st. You reached out to us after we published a cover story on this court specifically. And I would encourage anyone who's had a negative experience in the 231st or the Tarrant County courts in general to reach out to me. You can email me at edward@fwweekly.com. But that being said, I want to let you kind of end by summarizing the 231st based on your experience.
Based on my personal experience, it has been as though it was coordinated. I can't pinpoint all the coordinated pieces of it. But it was just, from the get-go, the first time I ever walked into a courtroom, it was automatically, everything was favor of the dad's side. And so there was nothing that I could really do to change the outcome. It seemed like it was already in place. So no matter what I fought, how hard I fought, no matter what they've told me to, be quiet, to me, those are concerning in themselves and should be looked at, because what are they noticing that I'm finding? And what do they not want me to tell people? But I think it's important. Power, in numbers, power and knowledge. So I just really want people to be aware when they go there, if they have to go there, just to be on the lookout and really take your gut instincts and listen to them too.
Yeah. And in the system, we're kind of expected to just trust attorneys.
Yeah.
And I know as you've learned more of what to look for, you have found some really unusual procedural irregularities that once you understand what you're looking for, just kind of strikes you as being very odd. And I've seen that as well.
Yes.
So we'll be following your case very closely and wishing you the best. And
Thank you.
I know you have a support network out there in Tarrant County that's also helping you out. So you're not alone in this.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.